Hey, this is Jason Moss with Georgia Manufacturing Alliance, and we're here with another edition of our Manufacturing Success in Georgia book tour interviews. And today I am really excited. I'm hanging out with one of my buddies here, Justin Hughes, and he's the managing partner of Dieselgrid. Now, although Justin was not listed in the book as a manufacturer, he's been actively engaged in our organization for quite some time. He's been a corporate sponsor, and he's one of the reasons this RV looks so good. You know, he and his team actually put together, helped do the layout and do the graphics on this RV. So we're really, again, we're appreciative of his support in GMA. And I thought it was a great opportunity to learn a little bit more about the supply chain, some of the challenges that we're facing in the market today. And you know, without supply chain, you know, manufacturers, all they have is inventory. So we got to be able to make sure that we get the products from where we manufacture to the end user. And so usually that's a lot of different touch points. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that, what supply chain is, kind of how it works, and the impact of maybe we're going to talk a little bit about the COVID space as well. But without any further ado, what I want to do is I want to turn this over to my good friend, Mr. Justin Hughes. Justin, if you would, for the folks that don't know you yet, tell us who you are and what's your role here at the company.
Well, first of all, what's going on, brother?
Man, glad to be here.
Just want to say thanks for setting us up. You know, the first interview after the 4th of July. We really love our country here, and you know, I'm a proud father of a son in the Marine Corps, and I got a lot of family members in the military. So
very cool. Very cool.
But as far as Dieselgrid, I'm the managing member. Started our company in 2009. And it's been building it one relationship at a time.
Yep.
And
now, what is Dieselgrid? What do you guys do? What's your role in the space? Why is a manufacturer talking to you guys about what's going on?
Yeah, so we're an asset-based freight carrier.
Okay.
We move supply chain for our customers from point A to point B.
Okay.
So if you need product or have product to be shipped, that's where we take it.
Okay. Good deal. So supply chain is a pretty big term. I mean, you know, people kind of kick that all around, you know, warehousing, transportation, trucking, but your role is to is the carrier side, right? So asset-based carrier, that means that you guys own your own equipment. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I tell you, this is a crazy time in the year. I mean, I always hear from our manufacturers that, you know, when it comes watermelon season in Georgia, carriers tend to be a little bit trickier to find. Can you tell us a little bit about what's, you know, what are some of the impacts on supply chain? What's going on out there?
Yeah, just like everything, you hear that story, we don't have it, or we can't get it, or I mean, that's, it goes for everyone.
Yeah.
And it's just a repetitive thing that we're hearing. I mean, we are waiting on parts ourselves for our own equipment, you know, to keep rolling. So everyone's feeling it.
Okay, so you say missing parts for getting equipment out, trying to figure out if you got, you know, equipment down. You know, we were talking a little bit pre-show, and I love kind of finding out some inside, you know, track on what's going on with these leaders around the state. And one of the things that you shared with me is after COVID, it seems like that a lot of companies are using that as a default response. We don't have it, we're out of it. Tell me a little bit about how that's impacting you guys.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, is it their default response? I can't answer that, but it just feels like it. I feel like that's what's in the air when you think of 2021. It's like, sorry, can't get it, or it's going to cost 3 times as much.
Right.
You know that, and you know, just the trailers alone that we purchase to move the freight, they've doubled in price. You know, home prices have jumped $100,000, it seems. So that effect is in all aspects of everything that's going on right now. So, you know, trying to find and source everything the way things used to be is hard. When you print $7 trillion, you know, things kind of, inflation takes over real quick. Like, so I think we're seeing that.
So what, I know fuel for a little while, fuel was going, you know, at the crazy rate of increase. How do you, as a business owner in the freight business, how do you deal with it? How do you?
Yeah, so you know, fuel's an inconsistent cost of goods sold.
Okay.
And so almost 100% of your companies are using a fuel surcharge. So they kind of, you have a base rate, and then you add a fuel surcharge to compensate for hikes and or a fall in price like we had
Okay.
during COVID. The prices kind of dropped, because we had a surplus of oil. So so freight bills would have been a little bit less. It's kind of a nominal fee, really, just to support that fluctuation.
Okay. So that's kind of baked into the whole transportation side of the house for delivery.
It is.
Okay.
It is. I mean, it's just something that we can't control, and at the end of the day, we have to compensate for it, because the success of me is the success of everyone else.
Sure.
And, so we all look at it as a team effort. Supply chain as a whole, raw materials to transportation to manufacturer to consumer. I mean, if one of them fails, we all fail. So everybody in that link of the chain has to be efficient.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as we're working together to do that, we all win at all points. So.
Okay, so when the manufacturers are screaming, where's my stuff? Why can't I get it moved? What do we need to tell the manufacturers? I think we all need a little more grace during these crazy times. What would you share with manufacturers out there?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, those same excuses everybody has are just passed around. Shortage of staff, shortage of materials, and it's really, you want to have those relationships. So
Okay.
when you get that one item, you give it to that person, and at the end of the day, that's kind of how it works.
I got you. Very cool. Very cool. Well, we've had a lot of different challenges over the past couple years. We're all trying to figure out the best way to do things. So we talked a little bit about some folks on the line are very knowledgeable, understand asset-based lending. They understand, not asset-based lending. I mean asset. Trucking companies that have equipment versus 3PLs that do the shipping, do the kind of the third party. Tell us a little bit about that. Give us a little education in that area.
Yeah, so that's a double-edged sword. There's benefits to both. There's disadvantages to both. So you really just kind of want to have a relationship with both. Like I was referring to, when you have the asset and you control the asset and it's the only one available, you're going to lean on that relationship to use that to your advantage of your supply chain link. Versus a 3PL. But on the other side, the 3PL has advantages so when that asset's maxed out, the 3PL can outsource other assets from other parties to still accomplish your other goals.
Okay, great. So you kind of need to have good relationships with carriers that have equipment and have trucks, right? So it's good to build those relationships early on when you can, but that doesn't always, when those carriers run out of trucks, man, I guess they're just kind of out of trucks. So
right.
You gotta have a backup.
Yeah, so you gotta have both those relationships in place,
Okay, perfect, good deal. Well, I know you mentioned you've got a son in the Marines, and I know that through following social media, a lot of folks out there may see some of the posts that you guys do. I know that you give back a lot to the community, and you really acknowledge the veteran community. I'm a veteran myself, and I'm thankful for the time that I had to serve. But I think that there's a lot of opportunities for veterans in the transportation arena. What would you recommend somebody that's thinking about getting involved in supply chain?
Yeah, so exiting military staff can actually obtain their CDL through the military, and actually. We, as a smaller company, can even get an insurance waiver from that. So that's a nice benefit to having that military background, as long as they were involved in it. Really, we love hiring ex-military. The transportation industry is so chaotic, and bringing some type of order to the chaos. The military definitely instills that in people.
Yeah.
So we greatly appreciate that, and just being honest. I think there's a lot of good, honest people there, and we always try to bring that honesty to our customers.
I tell you, that's cool. That's one of the things that I've seen in the manufacturing side of the house. The military tends to do really good in this environment because they've got focus, attention to detail. They're committed to the mission, and that across the board is really interesting to see how well that fits in manufacturing and supply chain. And if you're in the military, you are in supply chain. You're touching it every day somehow or another, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So one of the other pieces that I wanted to kind of chat with you about is workforce. Part of the reason that we're doing this book tour right now is that there's definitely challenges in filling roles in the manufacturing space. What are you seeing on the on the supply chain side?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely challenges ahead. You got to thank all the schools for CDL. To learn how to drive a truck, you have to be with somebody.
Right.
And so for a year, that never happened.
Oh, I never even thought of that.
So there's going to be a huge, just we're not going to have enough truck drivers.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I had asked my insurance company is kind of relieve some of those or pull some of those restraints. Maybe if I don't know how they could, but if the government could assist in helping, allow more people to drive, I guess.
Okay. There's a huge need. I mean,
it.
do you foresee? I mean, break out that crystal ball and tell us a little bit about. Do you foresee driverless trucks out on the road in our lifetimes?
In our lifetimes,
that's a little tricky. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm ready for it. I would love it. We don't own any over the road trucks. All of our stuff is local.
Right.
Being a truck driver is hard. I started out unloading trailers, loading trailers, to driving tractor trailers, and it's hard on the family. And working nights for 15, 20 years, done that.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, those jobs that just take you away from your family for a week at a time over the road, those are hard to come by, and you got to have a special person that just likes to be alone. Mm-hmm. And I don't like to be alone, so I'd never wanted to. So we don't even actually own any sleeper trucks.
Okay.
So when those driverless trucks come available, that's when we will offer our services across country.
Okay, I got you. Well, I tell you, driving down here, so we're up in Lawrenceville. It's about an hour and 20, 30 minutes-ish. I'm racing Google when it tells me what time I'm supposed to arrive. I use that as that's a mission. That's a goal. Can I beat that legally? I do drive the speed limit at all times.
Yeah.
But I see that as the trucks are everywhere, man. And now this is not a big rig. It's a 32-foot Class A vehicle, but it takes up all of the road. I mean, it fills up the lanes. And the focus that you have to have, constantly. I tell you, I have a whole new appreciation for folks that drive big rigs every day, because when you're kind of put in that position in that area, it does make you think about how taxing that is on a driver to be able to push something this big. I mean, it blows me away that I'm able to drive this thing with just a regular driver's license. I can't believe when I bought it, they're like, just take it away. You don't need a license or anything. And I was like, are you sure?
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see that, but it has given me tons more, again, appreciation for folks that drive every day. And now you got involved in GMA during COVID, just right as COVID was rolling up on us. And I love your mindset that you're going to figure out ways that we can make this better for everybody. That's one of the things that really attracted GMA to your leadership team, is the commitment to try to find solutions in tough times. And we were all facing crazy times, right? That's just part of the deal.
Yeah.
But tell me what are some of the things that came out of COVID for you guys?
Oh man, you talking about technology,
Okay.
Just fast forwarding 10 years of bureaucracy of everything in a matter of 3 months,
Okay.
So I greatly appreciate that. I always try to find the benefits to a bad situation.
Right.
How can we turn it into a positive? And we definitely started working on, we were already kind of working on it, but our own software and mobile app to facilitate the transportation needs. Bringing in our GPS tracking, you're talking about with Google Maps. So when a driver's driving down the road and there's a traffic up ahead, and Google reworks the directions and the new ETA.
Yep.
So if your appointment time is going to be missed with that new ETA, that you and I would be notified at the same time as the driver's notified.
Okay.
So that transparency, just love it, you know.
That way the customer knows, and the customer's not all mad because where's my stuff?
We're all on the same page. You can see the same Google Maps I see.
Okay.
This is where our driver is with your freight. It's assigned to it. It's just a beautiful thing, especially when you hear those horror stories of a plant shutting down, costing $1 million an hour or something. You know, waiting on one product. You know?
And they do, they do. I mean, you shut a factory down, man. It can get crazy in a hurry, and people are, they want to give as much grace as they can, but we can only do what we can do, right?
That's right.
The best part of the drill. Now, tell me a little bit about, I think you said that recently you guys got acknowledged for something. I don't know if you're at liberty to talk about this yet, but if you are, I'd love to hear a little bit of the story about how you guys got.
They didn't say I couldn't.
Okay. So guys, out in the world, you guys are hearing it before anybody else.
So Dieselgrid was nominated for Carrier of the Year from C.H. Robinson.
Wow.
Which is one of the largest 3PLs.
Yep.
in our country and in the world. So
Carrier of the Year from C.H. Robinson. Dude,
yeah.
that was freaking awesome.
So we are very honored to have that and blessed to work with everyone there and our team to accomplish that. It's been amazing. Been a lot of hard work too.
Right.
But it's nice to see, almost an attaboy for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what would you attribute that success to? I mean, what would you say the biggest thing that makes you guys different?
Man, honesty and energy and persistence. I think, we don't quit. We do what we got to do. It is what it is. Things happen. We understand that, but it doesn't matter. We still got to get to the finish line.
Yep.
So we bring whatever it is to their attention and keep them aware of it. It's crazy to say, but I think we've gotten more customers by being late than we have been being on time because we tell them about it.
Wow.
And in the trucking world, you don't get that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, and with the technology you guys have embraced, do you see more of that coming to the table? I mean, is that?
Yeah. I mean, just transparency is just it's the 2020s. I mean, it's just 2021. It's our time in life.
Right.
Everything is transparent.
Yeah. The technology will take you so far, but the team that you have here, I mean, you've assembled some great people and recently had some new ads. I love to see successful businesses continue to grow and be focused on learning new skills and trying out different things. One of my favorite quotes in the world is, "The path is made by walking." Right. We can theorize about it all day. We can talk about what we're going to get done, but the reality is it happens when you go out and try it. You don't know what's going to break, right, until you get out there and give it a shot. And being willing to try new things, and I think that your customers appreciate that in a different way as well. That you're willing to push the envelope a little bit to try to figure out a better way to serve them. Not trying it just because you want to try it. Try it because you want to serve folks better. Yeah,
and give them the option, to make sure that they're.
Do you want to be part of this beta test?
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes the ones that you expect to step up and say, yes, I would love to participate. You're glad you asked that question, right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, and sometimes I'm like, you know what? Let's not try that over here. Let's try it on this little baby project.
Yeah. One piece at a time.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Well, out in the supply chain world, in the trucking world, what if you were able to wave a magic wand and fix one thing? What would be the biggest challenge that you would try to work on first?
Oh man, that's funny. A magic wand. What would I fix? I mean, I think that's what I'm trying to fix. What we need to, what our magic wand needs to be,
Okay.
and that's the the software we're creating,
Okay.
and to facilitate all of this, and to keep everything 100%.
Okay.
And I guess my perspective, there's a lot of stuff out there. I get it. I've worked, and we have a lot of software that we pay for, and at the end of the day, it's not mine.
Yeah.
And I've got to have it. It's just missing some pieces. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And no one else will build those pieces, so we've got to build it ourselves.
Right. You fill in the gap. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. That's cool, man. That's cool. Right now we see that manufacturing is coming back full force, man. I mean, people are really excited about getting back on board. Across the board, everybody that I'm talking to, there's 3 big buckets that people are worried about. Number one is workforce. Hands down, just about every manufacturer that I know has got machines sitting idle because they can't find people to come in and work. I think some of that's kind of getting tightened up. We're not going to get into the political side of it, but thankfully some of that I believe is coming to a head. The other thing is business development, because a lot of businesses, especially in the industrial space, they use trade shows, right, as one of their primary methods to get their business out to market. And when that went away, I mean, we had Georgia Manufacturing Summit. We had you guys lined up to be a big participant in that. And when that went away, man, it was painful. It was like a stab in the heart.
Yeah.
But the reality is we just couldn't do it in 2020. Now we're not going to do 121, but it looks like maybe 22 we'll be back to back to the trade show world. I've attended some trade shows recently and have been just blown away with how well attended those are. I mean, I went to Design to Part the other day in Atlanta, which is a contract manufacturing group.
Yeah.
And dude, there wasn't a mask in sight.
Nice.
And the halls were full. So I think that the trade show space is coming back. I think by 22 we'll be fully back up on it.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to that because I love trade shows. I mean, I'm a trade show junkie, man. I love going to them. I love doing them. All the parts. And so many businesses. You were talking about that that gap in training to get drivers back in place. There's a gap in marketing that just went away. I mean, we got a lot of stuff accomplished with people doing, LinkedIn and that kind of thing, and doing Zoom and using different tools, but you can't replace the face-to-face. You can't replace, man, it is really difficult to replace the volume of business that's done through the trade show industry. So hopefully that'll come back. So the 3 areas: number 1, workforce; number 2, business development; and the third thing that often comes up for manufacturers across the board is supply chain. We can't get our stuff, man. It is like, where's our stuff at? Now, I am really excited to get some folks to understand from a carrier's point of view some of the challenges you face. If you got trucks that are broken down and you're waiting on parts because people are just telling you the parts aren't in, there's nothing you can do about that. You mentioned something on the pre-show that you called, you had a truck broken, you called for somebody. Tell me about that again.
Yeah, I mean, a simple $200 part, shutting a truck down for a week, and you finally get it, and it's a bad warranty part, and it's broke down again with the same problem. You're going, oh man, come on.
And how'd you get it off the road?
Oh yeah, so we had one that we had to tow it, and we tried calling, and I said, sorry, there's no tow trucks available. Can't do that either. I'm going, okay, we can't fix it, we can't tow. What can we do, guys? You can sit there and wait.
Yeah, the struggle is real, guys.
Yeah.
So you manufacturers that are chomping at the bit saying, where's my truck? Understand that sometimes when the trucks break, you can't even get a tow truck to tow the truck off the road. That's a tough haul, man.
Yeah, and speaking of shipments, so we may go to a shipper and we're supposed to pick up 4 different shipments, a full truckload, and then only 3 of them are available. So we're also finding that too, that even the people that are ordering their stuff don't know it's not ready or there available until we show up, and then we are informed that it's not happening.
Okay.
So then you're getting a partial at that point.
Yeah, and That mixes it up because you've already done all your planning and your load planning
Right.
and all that stuff, and drivers and trucks, and when that goes away, that makes so manufacturers need to be as accurate as they can with their carriers to make sure that you're not sending empty trucks that go.
Yeah,
back
you almost
empty,
want
right?
his product on site ready to go.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. One of the things I'm really excited about is we're coming up towards the end of this tour. One of the groups that was mentioned in the book was the ports, right? The Georgia ports. We were blessed to be able to have some really great resources at the Georgia ports, and I'm looking forward to going down to Savannah. We're going to go down the 29th for the GMA group tour. If you've never toured the port of Savannah, man, it is fascinating. I mean, they have these big cranes, and they're just picking these things up off the boats and sitting them on trucks. As soon as they get them off the boat, sometimes they're sticking them on trucks and just going. It is fascinating, and some of them are going through customs and getting the full, like those big trailers that you see going down the road, X-rayed, to make sure that they're passed. I mean, it's unbelievable. So we've toured the port a few times in the past. Really enjoyed that, and so we're going to be doing it the 29th. It's the Thursday. We do have a couple seats still available, so if you go online to Georgia Manufacturing and click on the upcoming events tab, you can see all the events that we've got scheduled out. Also on that page, if you go to the book, you'll be able to see there's a explanation of a little bit about what the book's all about, but also there's a thing for interviews. So all the interviews that we've done on the road, we've archived, and we've got a copy of all of those interviews there. This interview will be posted in the next day or two on there as well, so you can go back in and if you weren't able to catch the whole thing, you'll be able to see it there. So I'm really excited to see what we've got going on with wrapping up this book tour. This has been fun. We've learned a lot. You and I were talking a little bit pre-show about all the rig and the gear and the setup to make this thing happen.
Yeah.
It has been a journey to figure out these pieces, but
it's pretty amazing.
It's been fun. We've been able to meet some great folks, tell some good stories, and we got several more to tell. So on Thursday, we're going to Okabashi. On the next Tuesday, I think we don't have that finalized. And then the following Thursday, we're going to Kia. And Okabashi is up in Beaufort. They manufacture shoes. They're in the book. Kia, of course, is in the book. And then we're going to tour Iron Shield Brewing, which is the two tours that tend to get really great attendance is brewery tours and the port tour. So we're going to kind of wrap the month up with a bang. So, what would you say as we're wrapping this this visit up? What would you recommend manufacturers to think about, or anybody in the transportation? I'm gonna kind of open it up. The floor is yours. What would you like to share with the community we got out there?
Yeah, one of my big things that I always think about is short-term pain for long-term success. What are we going to be facing here in the next, if we are going to be bringing in a lot of manufacturing? I mean, if our jobs were only 3-5% unemployment, but you add 10% more jobs, you're negative there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that does have to be considered. And it's kind of like how I love when the government brings in stuff. They bring in, because I was from Henry County, Georgia, and so they're building all the warehousing and stuff, but they didn't build the roads. They wait till after the warehousing's done to update the roads, and just pre-plan for that. It's coming.
Yeah, don't be surprised by that.
Yeah.
Be careful what you ask for.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But
that's cool. We all got to be thinking a little bit further ahead, and if I would have been thinking a little bit further ahead, I'd have a copy of the book right here in my hand, but I wasn't. I've got, usually I hold it up, but if you're interested in learning about more about manufacturing and some of the cool stuff that's going on in the space, I would encourage you to go to Manufacturing Success in Georgia. And from there, at the top, there's an opportunity for you to learn more. If you want to learn more about the great career opportunities that are in manufacturing in the state of Georgia, man, it's a great way to do that. We'll send you out some information, get you connected to some folks. But you can learn more about the book, learn more about the tours, and also learn more about the career opportunities. Select the one that's the best fit for you, but go again. It's at Manufacturing Success in Georgia. And if you're interested, there's a place where you can order the book online. We do that through one of our partner affiliate companies, and they'll drop ship the book out to you. And if you're interested in coming on some of the tours we're doing some really fun stuff. I mean, we're going to see some great places. I know that the brewery tour is going to be an open tour, and then the port tour, we do have a couple slots open for that. So go online, register up for the events. Make sure that you order your book today if you've not already got one. They make great Christmas presents, if whatever that looks like for you. But with that, it has been another great day at GMA. We really appreciate all that you do to help support manufacturing across the board and through the supply chain. So thanks again, Mr. Justin Hughes, for your participation.
Thanks for having me.
Yep, and we will see you at upcoming events.